Now there was a time when you loved me so. I couldn't run. Now you need to know. See, I've been a bad man, and I'm in deep. Remember the time when I hit you up. Yeah, I was alive.
Welcome to We Are America Radio, and this is the Ascend Conservatism Show, the ugly cousin, twice removed, in the War Radio family. It's 3 p.m. in San Diego, and it's straight up midnight right here in Rome, Italy, where we are broadcasting to you live from the Piazza di Spagna. Now, we have an incredible show lined up for y'all tonight. We are going to give you our unique take on the Democrat National Convention and let you in on the media's dirty little secrets. We will also expose the left-wing attacks on the patriotism for this great country that us, on the right, hold dear to our hearts. And we have a shocking revelation about the matriarch of the Clinton crime family. Now, before I give away too much about tonight's show, let's get it started.
The content, language, and opinions expressed in tonight's show are solely those of the original host and its contributors. The content, language, and opinions do not necessarily represent those of War Radio, the War Radio staff, or other hosts connected to this radio station or shows.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Dateline. Headline breaking news with snark that may or may not be behind the WikiLeaks DNC hack.
Dateline.
Election Watch 2016. I know that this will come as a shock to all of you, but the Democrats, after years of blocking a border fence, have finally embraced the concept.
Say what?
Yup. As we have documented countless times right here on this show, George W. Bush and the Republican House and Republican Senate passed the Secure Fence Act in 2006. It authorized the building of a border wall between the U.S. and Mexico.
Ay, caramba!
But just months later, when the Democrats took control of both legislative chambers, they defunded the Secure Fence Act.
Boo! You suck!
But when the GOP won the Senate in 2014 and already had control of the House, we were sure that the Republicans would refund the fence and protect our homeland. Okay. So the rhino sellouts like Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, and John McCain didn't even bother to try to fund it. But now, oh glory be to God, the Democrats have endorsed the fence. Hallelujah. And with the fact that Hillary is running a huge lead among Hispanic voters, you would think that this would be the last thing that the Democrats would embrace. Right?
Right.
Well, you're right.
You got a problem with that?
No, seriously, you're right.
Right.
Well, sort of.
Say what?
They do believe in a border fence, but only the one they built around their Democrat National Convention.
Hello.
That's right, my people. The Democrats built a fence around their convention in Philadelphia last week to protect them from the undesirables on the outside. But
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
but they couldn't care less to build a fence at our southern border to protect the American people from undesirable criminal illegal aliens or jihadis slipping past the border. And while the pandering to the Black Lives Matter movement hit a fever pitch when the mother of strong-arm robber Michael Brown spoke at the convention, the Democrats are more than happy to not have a fence and allow illegals to pour into this country, and as statistics show us, it's the same illegals that are taking jobs away from those same black lives. And the sweet irony is not just left at the top of the DNC fence, which, by the way, was topped with razor-sharp spikes. But the irony was inside as well. Because to get inside the Democrat National Convention, you had to show a photo ID. Wrong, kid. It's only racist if we have the same rules for our presidential elections.
Don't!
But the funny part of the Democrats' border fence is that, in the end, it was not like the Great Wall of China to keep out the marauding hordes of protesters. It was more like the Berlin Wall. It was used in Philadelphia as the East Germans did back in 1961. The DNC built their wall to keep people in, to keep them from escaping. They seemed hell-bent on trying to keep the Bernie Sanders zombies from bolting and voting for Green Party candidate Jill Stein, or God forbid, Donald Trump.
Dayline!
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
That's right, my people. The first family, the first grifters, are at it again.
I'm shocked.
As we had predicted in our New Year's show of 2016, the Obama family are going to be on a one-year perpetual vacation up until they get kicked out of the White House.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
And as we exposed right here last year, they will use the tricks of the typical con man and typical con woman to have you and me pay for it out of our hard-earned tax money. For years, the first woman...
Oh, no, come on now, baby.
Now wait. The day Michelle Obama acts like a lady will be the day I call her the First Lady.
Oh, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
Anyway, the first mooch figured years ago that she could take her 80-person entourage on a 5-star vacation on other continents and have us pay for it if she just takes a short 21-minute speech talking about something completely inconsequential, like when she went on a 3-country vacay this last month and ended up in Spain, where she gave a short speech about her Let Girls Learn initiative. In Spain.
Say what?
Yep, that's right, in Spain. And guess where Spain is ranked in the world for girls going to grade school?
Anyone?
They are ranked first in the world.
Wow.
And take a wild guess where the United States ranks. '72nd. So Michelle Obama gets a free vacation to Spain to talk about letting girls learn when they are first in the world, and our kids, right here at home, are 72nd behind such education powerhouses as the Bahamas, war-torn Syria, the murder capital of the world Nicaragua, Latvia, and the birthplace of higher learning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Oh my God.
And to top this ridiculous initiative of Michelle the Moocher is that in her own hometown of Chicago, their schools are in such dire straits that if the historic budget cuts do not save the Chicago public school system, they are prepared to file for bankruptcy.
Oh my God!
But the advocate for education in the White House is too busy flying all over the world on the taxpayer's dime, talking to countries that are already leading the world in education.
Shame on you.
All the while, the poor kids in the Chicago public school system are suffering.
You disgust me.
But scamming of the people doesn't stop with the wife. The president himself has set out on a self-aggrandizing world vacation tour as well. Even though there have been 6.8 million people pushed into poverty since he took office, Barack Obama thought it was of the utmost dire importance to spend $4,165,000 to fly to Paris for the climate change conference.
It's good to be the king.
In recently released expenses of the Prezi's jaunt to France in 2015, an expense report that was only released after the government watchdog group Judicial Watch sued the DHS to get access to.
This is the most transparent administration in history.
Right.
These documents show that the flight alone cost almost $3 million, and Obama's travel to the climate change conference reportedly burned 300,000 tons of carbon dioxide.
Look into the mirror and see your own hypocrisy.
And to date, the President of the United States has spent over $83 million on travel.
Well, I think it's outrageous.
And that's just the reported costs, not the extra costs hidden for supposed national security reasons.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
So along with his wife's lifestyle of the rich and famous for 8 years, they have racked up over $100 million in travel expenses. All the while, the child poverty rate in America has risen from 18% under Bush to a reprehensible rate of 23%.
Shame on you, Mr. President.
And with Hillary Clinton carrying the baton of an Obama third term from the DNC last week, and her penchant for travel as well, being the most traveled Secretary of State in the history of the country, without nary an accomplishment to speak of, mind you, not only can the U.S. taxpayer pocketbooks not take another 8 years of 5-star vacations and round-the-world tours, but the precious environment that liberals care so much about can't take any more Democrat pollution either.
Amen, brother. Amen.
And that's Dateline, Part 1. We'll be back after these very important messages. Stay tuned.
Since 9/11, more than 8,500 children under the age of 18 have lost a military parent, the heroes of this nation, in service to our country. What can be done for the families left behind after a loved one makes the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom? Hello, I'm Gary Sinise. While we can never adequately offer our gratitude to America's fallen service members or the families they leave behind, we can strive to make positive changes in their lives. That's why, along with the entire Gary Sinise Foundation, I'm so proud to partner with Snowball Express, the largest gathering of families and children of our fallen military heroes. Snowball Express is a top-rated 501c3 charity foundation that champions the future of the children of our fallen military heroes with communal healing. It connects families with one another through year-long efforts and culminates in a 5-day, 4-night extravaganza that they will never forget. And once you've seen the smiles on the faces of these children and their families, you won't either. It's impossible to truly comprehend the struggles these children and their families experience in the absence of their fallen fathers, mothers, husbands, and wives. But we must help them heal and find new hope for the future however we can. Entertainers, politicians, living heroes, year-round volunteers, charity partners, businesses, and grateful citizens across America have been inspired to help put together these joy-filled experiences. while raising money and the spirits of those who have given so much.
We will hold our brave heroes in our hearts for the love they gave us, we have shared from the start. Every trip at Snowball is made to celebrate the life that our heroes lived. Our loved ones would not want us to sit and cry. They would want us to live life and to laugh at our heart's content.
That's what the efforts of volunteers and sponsors of Snowball Express do. Help those left behind to live lives that uplift and honor their fallen loved ones. Now we need your help. Your sponsorship is more important than ever. I'm Gary Sinise for Snowball Express. Thank you. You're going to make a difference.
You're listening to War. We Are America Radio.
Just when you thought that it couldn't get any better, yours truly, Dan Adams, my show has moved to Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed by the incomparable Wayne Dupree Show. This is War. We Are America Radio.
And we are back here on War Radio.
Dayline!
The media's dirty little secret. This is our weekly segment where we expose the mainstream media's dirty little secrets. The ones they try to hide, or the ones they try to spin to protect the liberal agenda. Of course, WikiLeaks did all of that for us last week. And while the Democrat National Committee was sleeping under the false security of the idea that the WikiLeaks group were progressive liberals out to fight only conservatives, the recent release of 19,252 hacked internal DNC emails hit the Democrats like a nuclear bomb. While we had told you months ago that the Democrat nomination was rigged, these explosive emails just proved it. As we stated many times right here on this show, the Democrat primary has always been a corrupt party using corrupt means to nominate the most corrupt Democrat.
That's the fact, Jack!
The all-powerful superdelegates assures that the Democrat peasant that votes in their primary is always overruled by the party elite and Washington insiders.
That's a fact, Jack!
Now that this was exposed before the convention, I'm sure that during the rules conference, they did away with the power of the superdelegates to ensure fair elections in the future. Am I right?
Right.
Wrong.
Say what?
Yep. Not only that, you would think that the liberal press would be up in arms over this trampling on the will of the people. Of course, it didn't bother them when Obama lost the Democrat primary popular vote in 2008, but sold enough favors to win the superdelegates and become their nominee. So it wasn't a stretch that the liberal mainstream media wouldn't care that Hillary screwed Bernie Sanders with the entrenched Democrat Party Politburo. So as the Democrat National Convention came and went, the voice for the little guy, the ones that were supposed to keep those in power in check, ignored the fact that even though the people craved for one person, one vote primaries, the media is more than happy that their DC cocktail pals will continue to pick future nominees. So as this is the media's dirty little secret, they can't really bury the story of WikiLeaks' worldwide release of the DNC email hack, so they are doing the next best thing. They are doing what they do best, and that is to spin. As they usually do, they turn the story from what the scandal is all about into who exposed the Democrat scandal. Just like they did when the Planned Parenthood videos were leaked. They went after the video makers and not the real criminals of Planned Parenthood.
Book 'em, Dano.
In this case, they are taking focus away from what is actually in the emails to who was behind the hack. It's a tried and true liberal ploy.
Diversion, subterfuge.
They wanted the public to forget the fact that Hillary Clinton's 2008 co-chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was the head of the DNC for the primaries,
You bitch!
They tried to take the focus off the fact that Schultz had completely rigged the Dem primary and turned the low-information voter on to watch the new, distracting, shiny object of rumors that it was the Russians that were the perpetrators of the hack, and that the Russians were trying to fix the presidential election because of ties from Russian oligarchs to Trump and his campaign manager, Paul Manafort. Now, if Tom Clancy hadn't passed away a few years ago, I would say that he wrote this synopsis for the next Jack Ryan movie. But the point of this week's media's dirty little secret is that when the left gets busted, they try to distract an ever-complacent and ever-gullible public, and it's up to us, on the right, to put the focus back on the heart of the matter.
Right on!
And with these DNC emails that were leaked, it gives us a chance here on the Ascend Conservatism show to expose another sector of the media you didn't even think to look at for liberal spin. But that comes later in Dateline. Stay tuned.
Dateline!
God bless America.
The 4th of July was less than a month ago, where we celebrated our Independence Day. Or did we? I know it sounds crazy, but in some places in this country, we do not have the independence we once had. And it's a slippery slope, where we could plunge into an abyss and lose our national identity.
What you talking about, Willis?
Pay attention, because our national pride is under assault by the loony left in places all over the U.S., from the left coast to the right. Not only are some local politicians trying to outlaw patriotism, but some of the media are trying to sully the great patriotic traditions to push their progressive, secular vision of a liberal utopia for the United States.
This is ridiculous!
While this country has always been a melting pot, in the past, all these immigrants pledged allegiance to this great country and also kept their ethnic identity as well. But they became American first and foremost. But, as usual, the unraveling of what is the fabric that makes this country great begins with the usurper-in-chief, Barack Hussein Obama.
You suck, you jackass!
Using the royal pen decreed to him by his loyal subjects, he wiped away over a half a century of allegiance to bear arms to defend this country, immigrants' new adopted country. While the first oath of allegiance was created at Valley Forge in 1778, the text for new immigrants for defending their new homeland was added in 1950 in the wake of World War II. But Hussein Obama decided on his own that his new Islamic recruits, as well as others from foreign lands, do not have to pledge such loyalty.
He's a traitor. Don't forget that.
You can bet no one out there will ever forget that.
That's a fact, Jack!
But the thing is, we expect that from the most anti-American president in history. We expect that from President Hussein. But across the nation, more leftists are trying to destroy the pride most of us on the right have for the greatest nation to ever exist. From places like Lexington, South Carolina, where the owner of a mattress company who also happens to be a Marine veteran who was told to remove a patriotic display from in front of his business.
Are you out of your damn mind?
Nope. Bob Michalis was told by the town of Lexington to remove the 10 flags he lined up in front of his store with to honor our troops. And on to places on the left coast. Residents of Newport Beach, California, battled City Hall over their 4th of July decorations where they stretched red, white, and blue triangular flags from home to home to express their American pride.
Outrageous!
And another affront on not only our patriotism but the religious roots of the country was under assault by the press in the Big Apple. A New York Daily News columnist wrote, quote, "Major League Baseball must permanently retire God Bless America, a song that offends everyone," unquote.
Are you sick in the head?
Yep. He's infected by the disease called liberalism. Maybe if we stopped kowtowing to any and every crybaby that comes here from elsewhere, they might grow thicker skin and adapt to what it means to be a hard-nosed, pull-yourself up by your bootstraps, gritty American. Maybe then, and only then, we will be one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With God's help, we can and will resolve the problems which now confront us. And after all, why shouldn't we believe that? We are Americans.
Dateline!
The Media's Dirty Little Secret, Part 2.
One dirty little secret. Who has to know?
As we stated earlier in Dateline, the mainstream liberal media is in full Hillary protection mode with the latest WikiLeaks DNC email scandal. But with this new revelation of how corrupt the Democrat nomination process is, with its all-powerful and all-corruptible superdelegates, we can finally expose another sector of the media that brings liberal spin into our living rooms every night.
You're despicable.
Now this is a little complicated to explain, so we need to set it up first. If you are an avid watcher of the CBS show that just wrapped up after 7 seasons, The Good Wife, you know the premise. For those of you who don't, we shall give you a quick synopsis of the theme. It's about a wife of a politician that is thrust into the spotlight after her husband has a sex scandal. Sound familiar?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Well, this was obviously started to give a better TV version of the unsympathetic Hillary Clinton.
What difference does it make?
Well, the difference is that Julianne Margulies, who plays the lead, actually pulls off the part of playing a human. But that is not what the focus of this segment of the media's Dirty Little Secret is on. In this last season, they had Margulies' fictional husband, Peter Florek, who was now reformed and the sitting governor of Illinois, decided to run for president against Hillary and Bernie. So in episode 11, it was entirely about the Iowa caucuses. And the campaign manager of Florek takes a jab at the GOP and touts the pure, angelic Democrat primary process.
Hurry, caucus starts in 3 minutes. Right here on the caucus floor.
Oh, wow. I did not expect it to be this crazy.
Unlike the GOP, Democrats don't do secret ballots. This is old-style Athenian democracy.
What?
Athenian democracy. Literally a gathering of neighbors trying to convince each other to support their candidate.
Okay. With the latest damning WikiLeaks DNC email hack showing just how corrupt the Democrat process really is, this deserves another listen.
Unlike the GOP, Democrats don't do secret ballots. This is old-style Athenian democracy, literally a gathering of neighbors trying to convince each other to support their candidate.
Oh, sweet irony!
Quite ironic, but not unexpected from one of the three major networks, liberal networks.
That's the fact, Jack!
So as we get closer to the presidential election, it is up to you and me to be on the lookout for more of these subtle but all too effective semi-subliminal messages being spread through supposedly innocuous TV shows. The TV shows we thought we could trust to be propaganda-free. We need to flood social media and conversations in our cities and neighborhoods with people who are on the fence on who to vote for to be our next president. Because if we are not vigilant, we will have another SNL skit taking root as actual facts to sway the low-information voter. Unfortunately, we are outgunned, but we, the people, have the guts and the determination to smack down the liberal lies and take our country back.
You're the one who has that power.
And as Dateline Part 2, we'll be back with Part 3 after these very important messages. Stay tuned.
If you're like 85% of Americans, you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is head into the kitchen for your morning ritual. What do you think it is? If you said, make your morning cup of coffee, you are right. What if I told you you could take this habit and turn it into a healthy habit with massive health benefits while enjoying the highest quality, best tasting premium coffee at a fraction of the cost of a traditional cup of coffee? Most people don't know that traditional coffee has its downsides. It dehydrates, is very acidic, imbalances pH levels in your body, making you more susceptible to illness and disease, and can also raise blood pressure. It can also increase the production of the stress hormone cortisol and has approximately 165 milligrams of caffeine per cup. At War Radio, we care about our listeners like we care about our own families. We have created a strategic alliance with a product that allows us to make a difference in our listeners' lives off the air. We want to introduce you to Healthy Habits Global Premium Gourmet Healthy Coffee. The main component of HHG's Healthy Coffee is reishi mushroom. Reishi is documented on PubMed.gov with thousands of clinical studies. The Chinese culture has used this herb for medicinal purposes for thousands of years, and now the secret is out. HHG's Healthy Coffee also has Tongkat Ali and ginseng, making each cup power-packed with 154 antioxidants and over 200 phytonutrients. Each cup hydrates and balances pH levels, naturally detoxifies, strengthens and boosts your immune system, oxygenates your body and increases brain power, focus, and concentration, improves blood circulation, and improves quality of sleep. HHG's Healthy Coffee will also provide long-lasting energy, boost stamina with no jitters, you will feel no anxiety and no caffeine crash. For about $1.20 a cup compared to a $3 to $5 cup elsewhere, not only will you save money, but you'll feel amazing and enjoy each power-packed, nutrient-rich cup. If you don't drink coffee, don't worry. HHG also has infused these herbs into a gourmet chai tea, hot cocoa, as well as a healthy energy drink. HHG's Healthy Coffee comes in convenient single-serve sticks, making your ability to enjoy a cup at home or on the go. Just mix in hot water and you'll be amazed at how HHG's proprietary extraction process has trapped the freshness in each serving where it brews in your cup. Not only will the aroma blow your mind, but the taste is on a whole nother level. At War Radio, we bring you the truth, the real, raw news of what's really going on in the nation. Uncut, unfiltered, and not politically correct. War Radio operates on our listeners' support. As we continue to do our part, we ask if you would support us and play a role in helping us to continue broadcasting live. bringing our listeners the real, raw, and current news you won't hear in the media. Rather than asking our listeners for traditional donations, War Radio has been searching for a platform to give something back to our listeners for any-all contributions to further our cause. By purchasing these amazing beverages from WeAreAmericaCoffee.com, not only do you get an amazing, life-changing, health-building, and delicious product, but a percentage of what you purchase helps to advance what we do here at War Radio. Every time you enjoy a cup of coffee, you are doing your part to help us make America great again. We are truly excited that our listeners can get back the gift of health from us, while at the same time showing your support and contribution to War Radio. It's a win-win. Show your support and visit WeAreAmericaCoffee.com and place your order today. Again, that's WeAreAmericaCoffee.com.
And we are back. This is the Ascend Conservatism Show, and this is a continuation of Dateline.
Dateline!
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
This is not an episode of Cops, the long-running reality TV show that follows around our brave men and women in blue. But it's a Dateline segment that will open your eyes to the hatred of police officers that was so prevalent at the Democrat National Convention last week.
You disgust me.
For us to analyze what went on in Philadelphia, we must go back in time and detail to you the roots of today's Black Lives Matter movement. And it all started back in the turbulent 60s and the original Black Panthers. Bobby Seale and Huey Newton co-founded the Black Panther Party in 1966, and the group was adamant at attacking law enforcement officers. And on October 28, 1967, Huey Newton killed a police officer named John Fry. Although Newton was convicted in September of '68 of voluntary manslaughter, he was released later by an appeals court after 2 hung juries in his retrials.
That's not justice, that's outrageous.
On April 6, 1968, a team of Panthers led by Eldridge Cleaver ambushes Oakland police officers. On April 7th, the next day, Panther National Treasurer Bobby Hutton was killed in a shootout with police, and Eldridge Cleaver, Black Panther Party Minister of Information, they shot 2 police officers. In the spring of 1970, the Oakland Black Panther Party engages in another ambush of police officers with guns and fragmentation bombs. 2 officers were wounded. On August 29, 1971, 2 members of the Black Liberation Army linked to the Black Panthers murdered California police officer Sergeant John Young. Now you may be asking yourself what the bloody past of the Black Panthers have to do with this year's Democrat convention.
And I don't know the answer to that.
I bet you don't know, Hillary. But we're getting to your part in this whole history of anti-police activities by the Black Panthers.
Oh my God.
On May 19, 1969, members of the New Haven Black Panthers held captive and tortured a fellow Black Panther member they thought was informing for the FBI. After he confessed, and after the co-founder of the Black Panthers, Bobby Seale, visited the headquarters where they were holding the young man, who they thought was the traitor, he was executed. After the body was found and one of the men confessed and admitted under oath that it was Bobby Seale that gave the order to kill the young man. Later, during the trial of Bobby Seale, the man who co-founded the Panthers with cop killer Huey Newton, a young Yale law student volunteered for the ACLU to monitor the trial for any civil rights violations for the obvious reason to let Bobby Seale get away with ordering murder. And that young left-wing nut, cop-hating Yale law student, was none other than Hillary Rodham.
Surprise, surprise, surprise!
And there is irrefutable evidence from several sources that confirm David Horowitz's contention that Hillary was a campus leader during the Panther protests.
That's the fact, Jack!
And Hillary's summertime internship at the communist-leaning San Francisco Truhaft law firm show more love for the cop-hating left.
That's a fact, Jack!
While she was working there, she attended a plea negotiation on behalf of armed Black Panthers who stormed into the California legislature on May 2, 1967. The band of more than 24 men touting rifles, shotguns, and pistols caused alarm when they emerged on the floor of the legislature. And she was speaking in negotiations on their behalf.
Think of what that means.
So is it any wonder that Hillary Clinton had the mothers of thugs killed by justified police actions and not any family members of any fallen law enforcement officers?
No.
After 8 years of Barack Obama's race-baiting and creating the worst anti-police sentiment since the 1960s, do we need another campus protest leader?
No, no, no.
Under Obama and influenced by his hateful and divisive rhetoric, we have seen more police officers killed in the line of duty since the horrific mid-1970s. Do we really need another cop-hating commander-in-chief?
No! Hell no!
Headline!
Bitch slap of the week. What some might call the most satisfying part of Dateline is here.
Dynamite!
This is where we administer instant justice. No media disinformation, no liberal spin, facts presented, and retribution given. This week's winner of the Bitch Slap of the Week, the guy who does the ShamWow infomercial.
Say what?
Oh, you thought I was going to bitch slap the director of the FBI, James Comey.
Right.
Well, you're right. I was just kidding about the ShamWow guy.
Okay.
But let's be honest, ShamWow dude seriously needs a smack or two.
Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow. You'll be saying wow every time you use this towel.
Come on, what's the matter with you?
So, as you all suspected, Comey is our esteemed award winner tonight. And for obvious reasons. He single-handedly threw away any trust that the American people had left in the FBI in one single swoop.
What's the matter with you?
Not that there was much trust left, mind you, and that is because the former Attorney General, disgraced Eric Holder, ordered the FBI to cover up the cylinder scandal back in September of 2011.
Corruption is legal in America.
But what we do know is this. Director Comey just sent the last ounce of integrity that the FBI had left down the toilet. Now, while we here at the Ascend Conservatism show have said for over 9 months now that Hillary Clinton would not be indicted for the email scandal, we never thought that this travesty of justice would come from Comey.
What's the idea?
We just assumed it would be from the Department of Injustice, once again, to protect a corrupt Democrat politician.
I agree with that.
I mean, we knew the cozy connection of Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton, and that was even more prominent as the two conspired on the tarmac in Phoenix just days before Comey's announcement.
Well, looks like the fix is in.
But what we didn't know is that Comey was not the tried and true staunch Republican that the media had told us he was. Turns out, Comey is not only far from a hardcore Republican as portrayed, but he's not even a registered Republican.
That's the fact, Jack!
And besides that, Comey and social justice queen Loretta Lynch both worked for the U.S. Attorney in New York. Lynch for the Eastern District of New York, appointed by Bill Clinton, and Comey for the Southern District. And if you recall, Lynch was our last bitch slap winner where we documented her shakedown of HSBC Bank when she was the U.S. Attorney in the Big Apple. in which HSBC avoided criminal charges in a massive money laundering scandal for which the bank paid a $1.9 billion fine.
That's not justice, that's outrageous.
And guess who worked along with Lynch on the blackmail of HSBC?
Anyone? Anyone?
James Comey. But that's not the only time he colluded with a member of the Clinton crime family. As Deputy Attorney General, Comey was involved in the investigation of former President Bill Clinton's advisor, Sandy Berger. For those of you who aren't familiar with the case, Berger stole top-secret evidence from the National Archives trying to hide Bill Clinton's involuntary manslaughter of 3,000 killed on 9/11. In 2004, Comey then served as a Deputy Attorney General in the Justice Department. As far as we can tell, he limited the scope of the criminal investigation of Berger.
Come on, what's the matter with you?
There is no evidence Comey's investigation for the Justice Department made any attempt to determine if anyone affiliated with the Clinton White House coordinated with Berger or even asked him to remove the classified documents.
What's the idea?
And the incestuous crime family ties didn't end at the U.S. Attorney's Office of New York. Berger, Lynch, and Cheryl Mills all worked as partners in the Washington law firm of Hogan and Hartson. Cheryl Mills was the one who defended Bill Clinton in his impeachment trial, and Mills also served as counselor and chief of staff to then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And Mills magically appeared as Hillary's lawyer when she was about to be subpoenaed about her knowledge of the email scandal, claiming lawyer-client privilege at the 11th hour.
You bitch!
That's for you, Cheryl. Hogan and Hartson also prepared tax returns for the Clintons and did patent work for a software firm that played a role in the private email server Hillary Clinton used when she was Secretary of State.
Oh my God. Wow, 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 wow.
Now, besides intentionally dropping the ball in the Berger case and helping the Clintons, James Comey then released the attack dogs on the Bush administration. After Attorney General John Ashcroft recused himself from the Valerie Plame affair in 2004, Comey appointed a rabid liberal as special counsel, Patrick J. Fitzgerald. At the time Comey made the appointment, Fitzgerald was already godfather to one of Comey's children. And as we all know, early on in the Plame phony scandal, Fitzgerald found out that there was absolutely no crime committed.
That's a fact, Jack!
But he still proceeded to try to attack on some type of bogus charge on someone, anyone from the Bush administration. That's for you, Fitzgerald. With a history of collusion with the Clintons, it came as no surprise when Lynch came out and said that she would go with whatever the FBI, aka Comey, recommended. That's because she had already spoken to her old pal, her old fellow U.S. Attorney from New York, her old HSBC shakedown artist buddy, James Comey.
What's this? A fist.
The fix was in. So when the media tries to portray someone like Comey as a staunch Republican, a holier-than-thou conservative Republican, do your own research. Because as with this travesty of justice on the Hillary email scandal, we were set up from the get-go. It is time that we as a people, the American people, we the people demand the rule of law be restored in this country, the last bastion on earth for freedom and justice.
No justice, no peace.
And that's Dateline for this day, August 1, 2016. We'll be back with more right after these very important messages. Stay tuned.
I'm Trace Atkins, and I want to tell you about Wounded Warrior Project and how they help this brave man and his family.
I was trained all these years to defend my country, make it safe for my family and other families. That dream ended very quick. I ended up breaking my back, and I blew all my discs on my left side. It was very hard for me to cope. I gave up on everything. I considered suicide so I wouldn't have to put my family through all the pain. I didn't want to be around no more.
We must not forget our wounded warriors. That's why your gift of $19 a month is so important. Your gift today can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our severely injured service members. You'll honor and empower them so they can aid and assist each other.
When we were down in Chicago for the Air and Water Show, and I saw other soldiers that were worse than me, I thought to myself, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
I came down to the water's edge and saw my husband climbing out of that kayak, and this huge grin on his face. I was so overjoyed and so ecstatic.
I felt full again. I felt like I was happy.
Call or go online with a pledge of $19 a month and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
Just because the war might end, the war hasn't ended for myself or any of other soldiers that got hurt. We battle on an everyday basis. People that donate, they're my heroes.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive. Please, call or go online right now.
Hi, my name is Wayne Dupree. I am the founder of War Radio. We are America Radio. War Radio is a mix of American patriots dedicated to giving you their honest opinion on today's news, happenings, using facts and passion. We assassinate liberal lies with documented facts, but we also hold moderate Republicans accountable for not doing their job. If you like our station, share it with your family and friends. Share our message on social media outlets as we try to wake and motivate. Let us be your voice and trust us to always be fair and truthful. We are the #1 political talk radio station on Live 365, and like Andrew Breitbart has said in the past, we are the new media.
Well, my people, it's almost time to play our show's closeout song for you all tonight. But before we do, all of us here on Ascend Conservatism would like to thank the fantastic people at the Hotel Hassler Roma, situated at the top of the Piazza di Spagna, for hosting us for tonight's show. And do not forget to reach out to us on social media. Look for us on Twitter at CFJ. Go to our Facebook page at Ascend Conservatism, and you can download our Politipics from Pinterest at the Liberal Education Annex. As we leave you tonight, we have a much requested encore presentation of the amazing song that we premiered right here on this show just 1 month ago. It is a song called Forgotten Soldier, and it was written by D-Rock and was produced by former Toto band member Buddy Hyatt. Performed by D-Rock with Army veteran Amy Clark. Now we have a special announcement about this very important song. You can download it for only $2, and a portion of that goes towards helping children of our brave men and women in the military. For a link to the download page, just contact me on Twitter at CFJ. So have a wonderful Monday night and a safe and happy week ahead. And here is Forgotten Soldier. a song written for and dedicated to our military kids. This is CFJ signing off. Bye-bye.
Moms and dads sent off to fight for freedom.
As the children wonder, will they ever see them again?
Hugs and kisses and long goodbyes. It's so hard to see those children cry.
Holidays and Christmas are a time for joy, but all these little soldiers want mom and daddy home.
Ain't no need to worry, 'cause military kids are strong, and your American family will never let you be forgotten soldiers. You will never be like our flag flying high for everyone to see. Forgotten soldiers, you will never be. We're gonna saddle up and ride side by side, yeah.
Time passes by and the battle is won.
Soldiers come home to their daughters and sons.
Step by step, hand in hand.
It may take a little time, but everything will be fine. Forgotten soldiers, you will never be like our flag flying high for everyone to see. Forgotten soldiers, you will never be. Yeah, we're gonna take the reins and ride side by side. Yeah, yeah, come on now.
Forgotten soldiers.
Forgotten soldiers, you will never be. You're never gonna be, yeah. No, no. Forgotten soldiers, you're never gonna be, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Got family and country. Oh, yeah.
Forgotten soldiers.
Thanks for listening to War, a place where we assassinate liberal lies with documented facts. Home of Team Ninja, a group created to expose DC lies and give you something to think about each and every night. We are America Radio.